act so different around me. Yes, you're a good girl and you know it. I know exactly who it could be. Just hold on. I got my eyes on you. You're everything I see. I want your love and emotion. Endlessly, I can't get over you. You left your mark on me. I want your love and emotion.
Good morning, everyone. A very warm welcome to you all to Digital Manufacturing Today, whether you're joining us here live in the auditorium at the MTC or remotely from wherever you are in the world. My name's Neil Griffiths. It's my pleasure to be your host for today's event. And in a few moments' time, I will be inviting Graham to join us for the opening address. But just ahead of that, I just need to run through a few points about housekeeping. Firstly, there is a fire alarm test planned for 10:40 today, so please don't be alarmed by the alarm. Should run for about 10 seconds, but in the event it goes on longer than that, or indeed at any other time, please do exit the building via one of the clearly marked exits. The muster point is out on the car park at the front, and fire wardens will advise us on further steps from there. Free Wi-Fi is available. Please use the MTC guest Wi-Fi. No password is required. The washrooms can be found just opposite the stairs, both down on this floor and indeed on the floor above. MTC is a non-smoking or indeed non-vaping campus, so please do use the designated smoking area in the car park or head out to the public footpaths. If you require first aid at any point, please just speak to one of the events team or head to reception for support. There is a multi-faith room available on the first floor mezzanine for anyone who wishes to use that during the conference. In terms of timings, breaks are scheduled this morning at 10:30, lunch at midday, and another break at 2:40 this afternoon, with the event due to wrap up by around 4:30. Also, a huge thank you to all of our sponsors for the event today. We're joined by some fantastic organizations such as KPMG, Dell, Epicor, and many others. You can find them all exhibiting outside in the exhibition zone outside and indeed the first floor throughout all day. So please do go and visit them. We encourage you to network and indeed see the remarkable technologies they are demonstrating. And we'd also like to thank our media partners, Manufacturing Management and MEPCA. Let's just take a very quick look at the morning agenda. You can see the slide on the screen, and indeed you can find a more comprehensive version by visiting the website, digitalmanufacturingtoday.com/agenda, or indeed pick up a hard copy at reception. With that said, it's my great pleasure to kick off today by welcoming our first speaker, as it were, for the opening address. Please welcome to the stage the CEO of MTC, Dr. Graham Hoare, OBE.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us here today at the MTC for the Digital Manufacturing Today event. I'm delighted to see so many people at the Manufacturing Technology Centre alongside hundreds more that are joining us online. Digital Manufacturing Today is a really important new entrant in the communication of these important technologies. It's an event put on by the MTC events team and hosted here and will be hosted here on an annual basis going forward. This event is being delivered at a key time in an ever-changing digital landscape where the pace of change is increasing almost exponentially. Did you know, for example, that the cell phones that we all carry in our pockets are several 100,000 times faster than that got the man on the moon? With that technology that we have at our disposal, we really need to reach its full potential. ChatGPT launched in November 2022, And 2 years later, OpenAI already has 180 million users, proving that generative AI really is a mainstream technology, but one we must grasp now and take forward in all of our activities. And as we move through 2024, the machine learning market is projected to reach about $79 billion by the end of this year, and by the end of the decade, close to $500 billion. A tremendous opportunity, a transformation for the industries that we represent, but we must seize the moment. We're entering a truly digital age, and in the midst of a digital revolution, which the global competitiveness of our manufacturing industries will be hugely dependent on. And that ultimately is the successful adoption and implementation of new digital technologies. Without that digital thread, that golden thread, our manufacturing industries will decline, not accelerate. These technologies will fundamentally reshape how we work in terms of our skills needed by our employees, how we manage relationships with suppliers, how we record and share data, how we measure, how we test, how we work to make decisions using machine learning and artificial intelligence, and how ultimately we work internationally with our partners. These are exciting times, fueled by potentially limitless possibilities, but we all know that the challenge for many of us is the sheer pace, particularly the small and medium enterprises that many of us represent. Being confident about the investments that we are making today and those that we'll make tomorrow is critical to make sure that we make them in a way that is strategic and isn't going to be outdated literally before we get home. And that's why we've launched this meeting and this event over the next 2 days. It's to enable hundreds of professionals from our manufacturing industries to come together at the MTSA to meet, discuss, debate, and learn from each other, and learn from leading industry experts about new digital technologies and how they can support our businesses and drive progress together. Walking around the exhibition this morning and meeting a number of our sponsors and exhibitors is truly inspiring to see the showcase of digital innovation being led from this country. The companies here today that are demonstrating UK-designed transformative technologies and their industry expertise highlights the capabilities possible within the technology sector that can impact manufacturing and the supply network that will ultimately lead to a massive race in manufacturing, the next full industrial revolution. To ensure our manufacturing sectors are successful, they don't just need to live, they must thrive, they must win. And in this new digital connected world, digital will be the difference. To all of our sponsors and exhibitors showcasing their products and services today, I'd like to express my sincere thanks for your support. Without your investment, industry events like this bringing together of the community would not be possible. So many thanks. All of our events are designed by industry for industry, and the knowledge transfer is absolutely critical and is one of the reasons why MTC is the place where progress happens. And so to all of our presenters, speakers, contributors, to panels and workshops, thank you for your preparation in advance of the event, your support today, and your energy for the sector. And finally, to everyone attending, both here at the MTC and online, on behalf of the MTC, I hope you have a fabulous day and gain a huge amount from the conference session, workshops, and the conversations that you'll have in the corridors. Again, thank you for joining us. Have a great day.
Graham, thank you very much indeed. As you'll see from the agenda then, we're moving on to today's headline presentation, Be Digital Future Ready. As our speaker will outline, today we stand at a crossroads in manufacturing, facing geopolitical shifts, macroeconomic pressures, and a continued drive to sustainability. So without further ado, please welcome KPMG's Advisory Partner for Industrial Manufacturing, Gavin Coombe.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Graham, for a warm welcome to the MTC and your tremendous facilities. A very fitting location for this Digital Manufacturing Today event. By way of introduction, I am Gavin Combe. I lead industrial markets in KPMG's advisory business, where I focus primarily on strategy, transformation, and M&A work. I am not, however, an accountant, something that I hope supports the theme of seeing a different KPMG today, alongside our co-sponsor and alliance partner, Microsoft. After my first career as an engineer officer in the Royal Navy, I came into consulting some 20 years ago, trying desperately hard not to end up in aerospace and defence. Having worked extensively in automotive, manufacturing and natural resources, as well as a short dabble in cosmetics and whiskey, I have indeed found myself full circle, deeply involved in aerospace and defence and more widely in manufacturing. In that 20 years, I've seen the dot-com bubble go bust, the global financial crisis, at least 2 commodity routes in mining, and I've also witnessed a closing down of the openness between the West and Russia and China, and a reset of business globalization. From a period of relative stability in international relations and benign economic growth, we are now facing into a significantly more uncertain geopolitical outlook. Alongside this, we've come through a global pandemic, and we're grappling with commitments to address climate change, decarbonisation, and energy transition. Not wishing to paint too gloomy a picture by any means, we have at the same time made some tremendous technological advances. Just this month, we saw the jaw-dropping launch and recovery of a 100-ton reusable space delivery rocket. We have innumerable practical applications of IoT. Self-driving cars are now reality, not back to the future. And 3D printing is a proven manufacturing process for some of the most technically demanding processes in manufacture. Augmented, virtual, and mixed realities are now being used by industry for assembly, operations, quality control, and customer applications, from remote working to machine and product training. Generative AI is everywhere and has huge potential to transform almost everything. All of these developments are key contributors to or significant beneficiaries of smart manufacturing. It is my great pleasure to be delivering this opening session here at Digital Manufacturing today. So how do leading industrial manufacturers embrace this opportunity? They do this by making a significant shift in almost all aspects of their business, from technology and product-centric offerings to insight and service-led propositions, from manufacturing innovation to innovation across the front, middle, and back office, as well as R&D and core production. From growth constrained by legacy systems and processes to a future-proofed digital and data-enabled operating model that delivers agility and scalable growth. From security impediments to productivity and optimization of employee and customer experience to a seamlessly embedded security workflow for empowered staff and for empowered stakeholder confidence. From being data-rich but underutilized to accelerating insights-driven decision-making and with impact. And taking ESG from a manual, inaccurate compliance cost to the identification and optimization of new ESG value streams. And then lastly, a constrained industrial growth potential becomes a sustainable growth and competitive advantage. The sector is experiencing significant pressures on various fronts as traditional hardware margins decline and rapid technological advancements shift consumer needs and behavior, Industry 4.0 and digitization enables manufacturers to realize new revenue streams, to meet consumer expectations and build modern, future-proofed businesses. But in such a rapidly evolving landscape, it can be challenging to unlock investment and know where to start digitizing, to choose the right technologies and implement successfully for optimal ROI. Geopolitical volatility, impacts raw material availability and cost and market accessibility. To boost supply chain resilience, industrial manufacturing leaders are looking at nearshoring and onshoring. And in response to both of these trends, manufacturers are leveraging M&A to expand capabilities, especially in technical advances, to access new markets and to realize synergies and economies of scale. 88% of manufacturing CEOs plan to make an acquisition over the next 3 years. Industry leaders who want to leverage M&A need a clear strategy and ability to move fast in what is expected to be a competitive space. Increased ESG reporting and regulation requires businesses to have a much better visibility of their supply chain data. And the net zero deadline is getting closer, and the transition is especially tough for the manufacturing industry, as such a major contributor to emissions. Despite the growing expectations and urgency, there are some key areas organizations are falling behind. 42% of industrial manufacturing services are not yet digitally enabled, so work remains before industrial manufacturers can unlock the full potential of digitization. 72% of manufacturers say attracting and retaining a quality workforce in their primary business challenge, and recruitment challenges are cited as the biggest risk of failing to meet stakeholder ESG expectations. And this is from KPMG's Global Industrial Manufacturing CEO Outlook for 2024. 43% of organizations have limited to no visibility of their Tier 1 supplier performance, hampering their ability to efficiently and effectively address their up and downstream GHG emissions in line with Scope 3 regulation. 54% of leaders are not happy with their ability to make informed decisions based on data, impeding the pace and effectiveness of growth. And then lastly, 99% of leaders, that seems all of them, say that they do not have the right skills to implement generative AI, impeding adoption and their return on investment. Other common challenges to manufacturing transformation and growth include the relatively low rate of growth expected in the near future, and we'll see what the budget this afternoon does to add to that challenge. With KPMG's industrial markets, the CEO Outlook finding that 61% of CEOs anticipate growth of less than 2.5% over the next 3 years. The high cost and difficulty of raising finance is a significant risk in failing to meet ESG stakeholders' expectations. And concerns about algorithms, changing regulatory guidance, and data quality are the main barriers to AI adoption. The statistics here quantify some of the possible returns of effective transformation. The manufacturing sector is predicted to reap some of the greatest financial benefits from AI adoption, with estimated gains of $3.8 trillion by 2035. I note that number is different to Graham's in his introduction, but we'll verify the sources if helpful. The full ROI of AI requires strong data and analytics foundations, and 29% of businesses that have invested here say they have seen profitability or performance gains of at least 11%. So whilst the cost of ESG compliance and value generation can be high, there is a 10% lower cost of capital for better ESG scores. And these organizations that put customer centricity at the heart of their transformation initiative and businesses drive performance at a rate 50% higher than their followers. So at a strategic level, there are many other brand, talent, social, and environmental benefits to come. I will now outline how KPMG and Microsoft work together to benefit our clients. In order to support clients address their market drivers, gaps, and challenges, KPMG and Microsoft have joined forces to help drive business transformation faster together than we could alone. We combine a powerful and unique blend of business transformation experience, industry knowledge, and advanced end-to-end ERP, cloud, and AI technology capabilities. We exchange knowledge, ideas, insights amongst ourselves, and invest in innovation with common goals. KPMG and Microsoft are existing suppliers. We understand your businesses, and we have a track record of working shoulder to shoulder with you and each other to execute your transformation with confidence and speed and help generate scalable best practice blueprints that can be used to support your global ambitions. We are using our collective strength and complementary experience to unlock significant advantages for your organizations. Just some of the examples that we have achieved is in a complex and rapidly changing landscape, whatever your need, our global teams have the knowledge, skills, technology, and local experience to address it. KPMG as a business is using Microsoft Fabric across our audit, tax, and advisory teams to manage and analyze data, ranging from a few million to billions of rows daily from a myriad of clients, so we can deliver enhanced insights. And we needed global accessibility. We need ease of use for our teams and cost efficiency and the ability to work within a sprawling data landscape. We chose and implemented Microsoft Fabric to analyze Microsoft Lake, centralized data at scale, and Power BI for reporting. The impact of Fabric has been transformative. We can now offer new services and deliver deeper insights into operational efficiencies, market opportunities, and strategic planning. Our teams can rapidly analyze data at scale, derive differentiating insights, and spark creative approaches to business challenges. We are now confident in sharing our knowledge and experience with our clients to support you design, implement, and operate data and AI solutions using Fabric. KPMG are also using Microsoft Azure Databricks within the Fabric ecosystem to tackle complex data challenges and offer enhanced client services, including performance of complex data transformations and specific use case modeling, such as peer benchmarking. Microsoft trusts KPMG to provide regulatory advice and advise on workforce optimization strategies, talent management, and organizational transformation. So moving on, data and analytics are a critical enabler to transformation. 84% of industrial manufacturing executives said they considered leveraging their new digital technologies as a key to market differentiation, yet only a quarter of the industrial companies are currently using these technologies and tools to access, manage, analyze, and leverage data from their digital assets to inform decision-making in real time. 75% of industrial manufacturing organizations plan to invest in intelligent analytics. Scaled, effective, enterprise-wide transformations that deliver innovation and value is fueled by data-driven insights and processes. This requires a robust data and analytics capability. KPMG's depth and breadth of sector and business insights mean we understand your business goals, we know the questions you need to answer, and we know what regulations and stakeholder expectations you need to comply with, and what data points you need to both run your business today and shape it for the future. How can you benefit from a successful data analytics capability? Well, at a strategic level, you can do this through business and technology alignment, accelerating transformation, and enhanced decision support. At a more operational level, you can deliver key insights, complex issues resolution, and deliver accurate and timely reporting. So to bring this to life with some client examples of where we've actually done this rather than a use case. We have helped a global aero engine manufacturer reduce their work stops by 10%, improve data quality for improved decision making, and have generated an anticipated $4 to $5 million of benefit within 12 to 18 months. This was coupled with an early warning system and a supporting governance model. In another client, a leading aerospace and defense organization, it required improved data capability to underpin their business goal of increasing revenues by approximately $1 billion. KPMG delivered a strategy and decision for a central data office that would develop and be the guardians of an enterprise-wide operating model to address data governance and processes. The data office was a fundamental enabler of their digital transformation programs, including core finance functions. KPMG has also supported a global automotive OEM to move from disparate IT systems, tools, and processes, manual and inefficient reporting, and a lack of standards and transparency to an enterprise-wide data model concept built on Microsoft-powered platform. The client has leveraged this capability to digitally enable its staff, kick off a global transformation, and significantly cut costs. So how do we put a value lens on this to evaluate the return on investment? A recent survey from KPMG found that just over half of organizations had not seen an increase in performance or profitability from their digital transformation investments, with McKinsey finding that 70% of digital transformation failure is due to employee resistance. Only 11% of sustainability initiatives launched actually scaled across the manufacturing operations. And this is why people-centric change management is a central component of KPMG's connected, powered, and trusted approach, helping you to realize the full potential of your transformation initiatives. To ensure the success of their transformation programs, industry leaders are asking themselves, how do we operationalize our digital transformation investments for maximum impact in manufacturing processes and supply chain management? How do we enable and drive digital literacy across our manufacturing workforce to ensure efficient adoption of advanced manufacturing technologies? And how do we embed a culture of continuous innovation and enablement to enhance production efficiency and product quality? And then how do we acquire, engage, inspire, and retain talent skilled in advanced manufacturing techniques and digital technologies? KPMG and Microsoft have a proven approach to change and transformation enablement. KPMG has been recognized by analysts for our leadership in change management, thus being cited as a vanguard leader in communications and change management, stating that KPMG continues to significantly invest in developing a broad suite of change management tools, methods, and playbooks that align with its guiding principles and methodology for making change real and impactful. Some recent client examples include KPMG supported a global multinational aerospace and defense information security business to transform its air division by optimizing the operating model, realigning it with long-term goals, evolving battle space threats, and embedding continuous improvements. Over 2.5 years, KPMG professionals identified $1 billion in value opportunities, moved 30% of employees to new roles, and led a digital transformation. The focus on leadership, coaching, behavioral change, and capability building ensured a lasting impact and sustainable change across the enterprise. KPMG has also supported a global food and beverage manufacturer to understand the business value of Copilot for Microsoft 365 and assist with adoption and change management of the solution. The client subsequently used their Copilot value realization approach to analyze business value and then create business cases using data collected through surveys and interviews. So where does leadership feature in making this happen? AI is a complex and evolving topic that will impact every aspect of an organization, forcing leadership to address a range of hot topics whilst balancing short-term financial goals with long-term sustainability objectives. The challenge is to consider the overarching perspective of the way digital transformation will impact their business. Firstly, the CEO and CFO are key to setting and defining the strategy. Secondly, it requires all C-level functions across the enterprise to be engaged in the business. How will technologies be adopted and embedded to increase productivity, agility, and business impact, gaining competitive advantage and enhancing their customer experience? And then lastly, there needs to be an empowering function for the Chief HRO and Chief Technology Officer with the right tools, training, and support to build a scalable foundation for growth. This requires focus on the human element of the transformation, the culture of the organization, and the adoption of technology. Here are just some of the reflections we had from KPMG and Microsoft's clients across some businesses in food and beverage production, aerospace and defense, and pharmaceutical manufacture. Each of these quotes talk about the outcomes from our work, emphasizing their experiences and the focus on areas of innovation and collaboration. Transformation is complex and a rapidly evolving landscape. Here are just some of the industry awards that KPMG has received for our enterprise transformation capabilities and competence to support you in navigating that journey. And also alongside these, we have Microsoft industry recognition, which is of course extensive. In summary, we are not just accountants. As you would imagine, KPMG and Microsoft have a well-developed set of propositions focusing on a range of specific client situations. To highlight a few. Accelerated transformation, this is of course at the enterprise level, but also across many more areas of change, such as supply chain and the finance function. And then closer to home for me, in mergers and acquisitions, we have a huge range of broader deal advisory support propositions on buy side, sell side, and joint ventures. This both with corporate clients as well as private equity-backed portfolio companies. And one of the single biggest issues in any deal situation is how the IT and technology aspects underpin and enable the execution of the transaction. It is typically the biggest driver, of one-off costs and typically sets the timeline for the overall transaction execution in any period of post-deal transition. And then alongside technology, workforce and AI is a key proposition in any client situation in assessing the people impact of transformation. And lastly, to pick up on cybersecurity and resilience, no manufacturing organization can overlook the importance of cybersecurity and resilience when undergoing such extensive transformation and change. We have a great team of KPMG and Microsoft professionals today, and we look forward to continuing the conversation in subsequent sessions at the panels and also at our booth. So to conclude, thank you for the opportunity to showcase some of KPMG and Microsoft's achievements, expertise, and differentiating capabilities that support our clients to be future ready for an era of digital manufacturing powered growth. Thank you.
Gavin, thank you very much indeed. And so we move to our next presentation this morning, entitled "The Era of AI-Enabled Digital Twins Has Arrived." Enterprises and industries are adopting digital twins to design, simulate, build, operate, and optimize assets and processes, addressing challenges such as labor shortages and supply chain volatility. The new era of digital twins requires physics feedback to ensure AI models perform effectively in the real world. So, this presentation will explore technologies available to support this digital transformation. And to tell us more, please welcome the Senior Sales Manager EMEA from NVIDIA, Andrew Hendry.
Good morning, everyone. I'm going to get water first. So, good morning. Thank you very much for having me here. My name is Andy Hendry. I lead a small but dedicated team of sales specialists across Europe. They are all focused on working with manufacturers in helping them go through digital transformation with digital twins. So the world's largest industries, as we've already heard this morning, they're all racing to digitalize and to become software defined. They're creating digital twins to design, simulate, build, and operate, and which will allow them to optimize their assets and processes. This helps them increase operational efficiency and reduce costs. Once they build that digital twin, it then becomes the birthplace for robotics and virtual training grounds for AI. We've heard already about Gen AI and how that's entering the physical world. AI is coming to the physical world in embodied AI, or more simply put, in robotics. At NVIDIA, we view this as a three-computer problem. The first computer solves the AI piece, and we have our DGX platform. The second, we have our Omniverse platform, which is basically where you can go out there and build digital twins. You can simulate things, and we have a hardware platform called OVX that serves that. We then have the robotics platform. So we have Isaac and AGX for that. Today, I'm mostly going to talk about Omniverse, but I'll talk a little bit about AI and a little bit about robotics as we move forward. So why now? There's been some key technologies that have enabled this digital transformation and enabled all the work that we're doing. We now have access to technologies today that give us superpowers to solve problems that we've only dreamed of in the past. So firstly, we've got OpenUSD, which NVIDIA is a member of. USD was created originally by Pixar in order to enable them to make all the great movies that we've watched over the years. They needed a common language that all of their digital artists who are using multiple different applications could all use with one unified language. So it's a common standard that allows us to describe virtual worlds with physically accurate pieces that can then be combined into a larger virtual world. We've then got RTX, and those that have known NVIDIA over the years, RTX was introduced a few years ago. We've really transformed 3D rendering. It's not just about pretty pictures, making things look good. It's about being able to physically and accurately simulate how light interacts with matter. Next, we have accelerated computing. You need accelerated computing to process the enormous amounts of data that's been spoken about already today. So NVIDIA has enabled that with GPU-enabled accelerated computing. We need that to visualize digital twins, but also to train the AIs that will operate in the world and in the data center or in the cloud. We then have Gen AI, which, again, we've heard about Gen AI this morning already. AI has really advanced to the point now where we can train AIs to help us build digital twins in the future. And then lastly, computer vision, where AI understands our world and is grounded in the physics of reality. So NVIDIA have created a platform called Omniverse. We've built this platform to put all of those technologies in the last slides in the hands of developers so that they can develop the next era of physically based industrial digitalization apps. Omniverse is not a tool. It's a platform of technologies that supercharge the tools, that supercharges other tools and lets them connect with design, CAD, and other ecosystems such as Siemens, Autodesk, and Adobe. Let's just take a small pause and watch a short video. This video will show you what developers have been doing today with Omniverse. So pretty cool video. I'm going to explain a little bit more about what you just saw in the next slide. But there are multiple ways for the developers within your organization to work with Omniverse. So we have Omniverse developer tools and SDKs, which allow you to build applications from scratch. We have Omniverse Cloud Sensor APIs, which allow you to supercharge existing apps. So like I mentioned, Siemens, Autodesk. This platform is not trying to replace any of those tools that your designers, etc., use today. It's there to supercharge them. So you can use those existing tools, bring them into Omniverse using OpenUSD, and really supercharge those applications. And we've got very close collaboration with all of these ISVs today. Many of them have already joined the OpenUSD program community. And they are really super excited about working with NVIDIA. You can also use NVIDIA NIM microservices, which allow you to integrate AI co-pilots into your digital twin. Okay. And then these are just a few examples of companies that today are using Omniverse. They are developers. Are developing transformative tools, applications, and services on Omniverse and OpenUSD. So Amazon Robotics is one example that's been, there's a lot out there about Amazon Robotics and what they've been doing with Omniverse. If you look on YouTube, you'll find lots of videos. But their engineers have developed tools that are enabling them to accelerate computer vision and robotics training from months to days, while also increasing model accuracy by 9%, achieving a 98% model accuracy. We've got developers at Continental who have been working with our partner SoftServe, who are an IT consultancy and digital services provider. They'll be speaking this afternoon in more detail about Continental. So I'm not going to steal their thunder, but they've managed to develop an industrial co-pilot solution that enables factory maintenance teams to interact with their work cells to understand system health, system maintenance, tasks that need to be completed, and instructions on how to perform these tasks. With the co-pilot that they've created for Continental, they've increased maintenance productivity with expected gains of 10%. Also, we have developers working at Wistron, one of the world's largest suppliers of information and communications products. They have built a digital twin platform and AI-enabled tools to help their factory planning and engineering teams accelerate and optimize the planning, performance, and energy efficiency of their new factories. With these new tools, their teams are now delivering new factories in 2.5 months versus 5 to 6 months. And then another area that we have been working on is we've been working with multiple partners. In this case, we've been working with Katana, who have worked with Nissan to develop a product configurator that's delivering them between 30 to 40% time savings when developing marketing content for their brands. So if you think of Omniverse as this platform, you can really take it as a digital twin of a factory, a digital twin of a product. You can then use that same the same data that you've created for your product configuration. You can then use that as part of your marketing as well. So just have a think about how what impact would some of these outcomes have on you and your teams and your business. Could you see your developers and teams taking advantages of these technologies? Is there one of these examples you'd like to explore in a bit more detail? We'd be more than happy to talk to you in more detail about any of these examples. So just drilling in a little bit, I'm going to drill in on 2 of them. I'm not going to drill in on the continental one because SoftServe will talk about that later. There's been with Westron, there's been a growing emphasis on ESG investments and initiatives. They were looking for new ways to increase energy efficiency and sustainability across their operations. One area of opportunities for Westron in the electronics manufacturing space is the performance of run-in test rooms, which are essential for ensuring the reliability, the quality and safety of the electronics products. Their developers at Westron, they did all this themselves, built a digital twin platform and AI-enabled simulation tools to ensure optimal design, performance and energy efficiency of those new factories. They've seen an increase of revenue of 5% by reducing the work that it took in the process, and they've sped up production by 30%. Next, I'll talk briefly about Amazon Robotics. So with Omniverse, they've been able to create physically accurate photoreal simulations, which have helped them to accelerate robotics training and development. They've used our Isaac Sim platform to generate large photorealistic synthetic data sets that have improved detection success rate from 88% to 98%. Their use of synthetic data has sped up development time from months to days, as they've been able to iteratively test and train models much faster than they would have when they were only using data. So you might be thinking, how do we get started with this? So all of the examples that I've mentioned today, or the few examples that I've mentioned today, they all started in their development with a small core team of 5 to 10 people and scaled from there. You can choose whether you want to develop in-house. So if you have developers in-house with appropriate skill sets, some of which are listed on the slide, then you can do that. Or one of the ways that we recommend and usually suggest is you engage with a partner. Your teams would still need to write requirements for the partners team, but we have a number of partners within our ecosystem that we can recommend. SoftServe one that we'll be speaking later on. The team of people, the roles and skills you'll need are broken into 4 broad buckets, as you can see here. So developers, 3D experts, and most of you will have many 3D experts within your organization, IT experts, and program management. Based on the use cases you're developing, there are various different solutions to support. You want to supplement this team of people with additional expertise. For example, for factory digital twin development, you might want to include individuals with IoT expertise, people working at the intersection of IT and OT, and those with experience in networking and security. Another point that came up earlier about security. If you're looking to incorporate advanced simulation and generative AI into your solutions, you'll likely also need simulation and AI experts. So this could be a combination of in-house and partnership. That's the point that I'm trying to get across. To develop an Omniverse, your team will need access to appropriate infrastructure and software licenses. For infrastructure, this could start from a small group of people working with a small group of workstations, physical workstations. It could also be run in the data center, and we also work with all the major cloud providers as well. So there's various options to get started. It doesn't need to be a massive investment from the outset, but there is an investment in people and resources required. And then this slide, and hopefully we can share this with all the links here. This really just gives you some of the building blocks and the things that your developers can work with to start getting started. So there's the free download of this software development kit. There's various trainings available on OpenUSD, and there's various other training materials that are available to get you started in whichever area you wish to look at. I'm slightly ahead of time, a few minutes, which is good, but I'm open for questions if there are any in the room. Nope.
So just so I understand, so we're talking about a cloud platform that's got high, rapid data analysis. So it's like a powerful cloud platform.
So it can run in the cloud or it can run on premise. Omniverse as a platform, if you think of it almost as an operating system, and OpenUSD is like the HTML, what HTML is to the internet. So we use OpenUSD as a common file format. You can bring data into Omniverse as a platform from all your usual CAD design tools. You can bring AI into the platform as well to build a digital twin or to work as a design and collaboration platform.
So a bit like Apple is kind of quite well tuned for graphics stuff.
Yeah.
As opposed to Microsoft is quite well tuned for Excel and things like that. This system is well tuned for sort of digital twin.
Exactly. Yeah.
What would you say? Firstly, great summary. What would you say? Thanks. What would you say are the customers that you're engaging with? What are the problems they're coming to you with, and where do you think that is going to take you?
Yeah. So we're working with customers across industry. So obviously in the manufacturing space, but we also work with customers in ad tech, in the architectural space. The problems that a lot of the times we get phone calls to say, we want to buy a digital twin. Well, we don't sell digital twins. We provide the platform for our customers to build the digital twin on. They're looking at really improving their processes. One of the major areas is for greenfield factory sites. So if they're looking to build a new factory, they want to be able to simulate. They want to build that factory in a digital twin, simulate everything that's running within the factory before they even put a spade in the ground. So one of the big examples that, again, if you Google BMW and NVIDIA, you'll find loads of YouTube videos around what BMW have done. They're moving to or planning to build new factories, and they have spent the last 3 or 4 years working with Omniverse so that they can really optimize that for the future. So how does a robot interact within the factory? How does that robot interact with humans in the factory? So all of this, these are all areas that we're really exploring and working with several customers globally on.
From an SME's perspective,
Yes.
we're not going to develop our own stuff. Is there companies building tools that SME manufacturers can then use, because obviously we haven't got the budget to start from scratch.
Yeah. So there are several different partners. There's both big global partners, big GSIs that we work with who are creating this sort of thing, but we also have local partners in all the countries in Europe who are working with smaller companies to help them build digital twins. One of the things we often talk about to our clients is to make sure that they maybe don't want to go and build the whole factory. Maybe they want to start on a small area that they're having a problem with. It might just be a part of the production process that they feel could be more optimized. So they can start much, much smaller and just build a digital twin of that particular process. Okay.
On AI-driven robotics. So I'd be interested to talk more and discuss about this to you post this session.
Yeah, absolutely. Come and grab myself, and I've also got a colleague, Praveen, here as well, so feel free to come and grab us. I've got the T-shirt on today, so it's easy to recognise. All right. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much indeed, Andrew. So we are shortly heading into a break. Before we do, just a reminder then, please do take the opportunity to visit the exhibitors outside to network, speak to Gavin or Andrew about the presentations you've just heard as well. The break is scheduled to finish by 10:50, which means we have approximately just about half an hour, in fact, to enjoy coffee, network, and so on. We'll see you back in here at 10:02. Thank you very much.
Take my whole life Let's dance. Put on your red shoes and dance the blues. Let's dance to the sound they're playing on the radio. Let's sway. White collar lights up your face. Let's sway. Sway through the crowd to an empty space. If you say run, I'll run with you. If you say hide, we'll hide. Because my love for you will break my heart in two. Let's dance for fear your grace should fall. Let's dance for fear tonight.
Let's sway. You could look into my eyes. Let's sway under the moonlight, the serious moonlight. If you say run, I run with you. If you say hide, we'll hide. Because my love for you will break my heart in two. If you should fall into my arms and tremble like a and dance to blues. Let's dance to the song they're playing on the radio. Let's sway. You could look into my eyes. Let's sway under the moonlight, the serious moonlight. Let's Passing up a mile of ways I can blame you, no. Sometimes you're better off dead. There's a gun in your hand and it's pointing at your head. You think you're mad, too unstable, kicking in chairs and knocking down tables in a restaurant in a West End town. Call the police, there's a madman around, running down under the ground to a dive bar in a West End town. In a West End town, a dead end world. The East End boys and West End girls. In a West End town and a dead end world. The East End boys and the West End girls. West End girls. West End girls. Too many shadows, whispering voices, faces on posters, too many choices. If, when, why, what, how much have you got? Have you got it? Do you get it? If so, how often? Which do you choose? A hard or soft option? How much do you need? In a West End town, in a dead end world. The East End boys and West End girls. In a West End town, in a dead end world. The East End boys and West End girls. West End girls. West End girls. You got a heart of glass or a heart of stone? Just you wait till I take you home. We've got no future, we've got no past. Here today, built to last. In every city and every station, from Lake Geneva to the Finland station. How far have you been? In a West End town, a dead end world. The East End boys and West End girls. In a West End town, in a dead end world. The East End boys and the West End girls. West End girls. West End girls. West End girls.
It's like you know what you need. When you're dancing, girl, I follow your lead. The night is young, so are we. So let me take you away. Come with me tonight, you and I. Yeah, you know just what to do, and my eyes are set on you. Starlight, just shine. Yeah, you know you got the moves for me. Starlight. Carelessly, wish I kill the space between you and me. Let's stop time. Can't you see that we're meant to be? Come with me tonight, you and I. Yeah, you know just what to do, and my eyes are set on you. Starlight, just shine. Yeah, you know you got the moves for me. Starlight. I can feel the tension building up and no one else can see. We're in a crowded room, but with you, baby, it's like there's no one else right here. Come with me tonight, you and I. Yeah, you know just what to do, and my eyes are set on you. Starlight, just shine. Yeah, you know you got the moves for me. Starlight. Yeah, you know. Yeah, you know you got the. Yeah, you know you got the moves. Starlight. Yeah, you know. Yeah, you know you got the. Yeah, you know you got the moves. Starlight.
Waking up to ash and dust, I wet my brow and I sweat my rust. I'm breathing in the chemicals. I'm breaking in and shaping up, then checking out on the prison bus. This is it, the apocalypse. Whoa, I'm waking up, I feel it in my bones, enough to make my system blow. Welcome to the new age, to the new age. Welcome to the new age, to the new age. Whoa, whoa, I'm radioactive, radioactive. Whoa, whoa, I'm radioactive, radioactive.
Yeah, because for us, it's like we're a discrete manufacturer, so we make relatively low volume. So, you know, I should say, just personnel carriers. Like some parts of one make big, some that.
The other thing that it's really used for is just not your rock star creating
bit like my Pixar development. We use CAD to use step files. So it's a very quite simple. It's just a shape, but it's actually the shape of the faces and the position of the faces and how you transmit the file as step file. And that's what we're using in engineering.
Welcome back then, everyone. Welcome back. And indeed, welcome to those of you who have indeed just joined us, either here in the auditorium at the MTC or virtually from wherever you are around the world. So if you have only just joined us, of course, you've already missed a couple of amazing presentations, as well as the opening address from Graham, the CEO here at the MTC. Plenty more to come, of course. And if you're not sure what's happening, please do visit the agenda. You can see on the side screens the URL for that, or indeed just scan the QR code as well. Our next break will be at 12 o'clock for lunch, action-packed ahead of that. So as such, it gives me great pleasure to welcome our next speaker, with a presentation entitled Data, the Foundation Stones of AI. During this session, our presenter will discuss the approaches that should be adopted to transform data into a strategic business capability. We're going to explore Dell Technologies' AI Factory as a framework to harness the power of data. So who better to lead us on that exploration but the Chief Technology Officer UK for Dell Technologies, Arash Ghaznafari.
Good morning, everyone. And it's a pleasure to be here to share Dell Technologies' perspective on the impact of technologies such as AI, generative AI, and the interplay of AI and data and other technology ecosystems. If we think about the technology stack within the manufacturing space, at Dell Technologies, we have worked really hard to help unify that stack to ensure that you can take advantage of the data at the point that it's being captured all the way up to your enterprise intelligence layer. And we haven't done this by ourselves. We have done this through a broad ecosystem of partnerships and leveraging pre-validated solutions to help accelerate the value that you can get from these technologies. And if you think about the future of manufacturing, the future of smart manufacturing, digital manufacturing, there are 5 key trends that are impacting this space. The continuous convergence of operational technology and information technology, the interplay of data and AI and how data is fueling the growth of AI, better private mobility and networking capabilities, sustainability and efficiency is top of mind for many organizations, particularly at board level, and digital twins, as we saw this morning, is a major factor going forward. But all of this needs to be delivered in a highly resilient, highly available, and intrinsically secure environment, particularly when considering the current geopolitical tensions and issues that we face today. And manufacturing obviously is playing a huge role in the growth of the UK economy, and it ought to be intrinsically secure and protected. But to move forward into the future, it's really important we don't lose focus of that data-first perspective. The future is absolutely data-driven. And in fact, it's not just about the data, it's also about the edge. So at a survey that we conducted with our manufacturing customers, 81% of them suggested that the edge is the biggest transformation in computing that's going to affect manufacturing and other industries going forward. But you might ask yourself, well, what is the edge? The edge is not a product. It's not a platform. It's an operating model. It's the place where the digital world and the physical worlds meet. It's where work gets done. It's where value is created. It's where time-sensitive, business-critical, data-driven decisions need to be made. And it's a phenomenon that's impacting every industry. We are seeing it in healthcare, in agriculture, in civil engineering, in oil and gas and energy sector, as well as, of course, in manufacturing. But there are some challenges around deploying technology at the edge. By its very nature, the edge is very different from your core data center, private cloud, and public cloud facilities. You're implementing technology in distributed locations. Those locations are often environmentally hostile to technology due to dust, temperature, and so on. You might be lacking IT support. In fact, you will most definitely be lacking IT support at those locations. So the lifecycle management of technology at the edge can be quite difficult. Integrating technology with your legacy systems and your operational technology can be quite challenging as well. And to address these challenges, Dell Technologies, together with our ecosystem of partners, we have developed a platform that we call the Native Edge to address these issues. But I don't want to talk about products, so I'm not going to go into any form of detail regarding Native Edge. We do have people from that business division outside at our stand, and they can talk to you about it in a lot more detail. So if you're interested, please do go and see them. The edge is important because the data that is created at the edge, at that point of creation, has a lot of intrinsic value. There's a lot of real-time insight that you can use to improve your manufacturing processes. But the perceived value of that data can decrease over time until you start accumulating that data in a centralized location, potentially your private data centers, your private cloud environments, or even your public cloud environments. And you could use that data to gain insights along trends, along long-term trends that might be affecting your operating model. You might want to use that data to continuously optimize your AI capabilities. So understanding the interplay between edge, core, and cloud is really important. And this is something that has been at the heart of Dell Technologies' go-to-market strategy. And so we have worked very hard to develop a unified data platform that can help you seamlessly take advantage of all these technology areas that I just described. Now, artificial intelligence has been with us for a very long time. What I'd like to refer to as classic AI, it's about detecting patterns, classifying data, making decisions, but doing so based on existing data. What has given rise to artificial intelligence is the generative AI space, where you can now create insights and synthetic content that didn't exist before. And AI has been gradually extending its reach into the manufacturing industry. So in the next few minutes, I'm going to talk to you about some examples about artificial intelligence in the factory floor, AI within your factory facilities, and AI for enterprise intelligence. And we look at some use cases that you might already be employing in your environments and help you understand why data is so important to all of this. So let's start with AI on the factory floor. Computer vision is now becoming commonplace on the smart factory environment. At Dell Technologies, with our own manufacturing lines, we are using computer vision for quality control. And the benefits are obvious. It can reduce cost. It can improve the throughput of your manufacturing capabilities. But in order to get there, you need to sense and capture data. That data needs to be carefully curated. It needs to be cleaned. The AI model needs to be trained on that data to understand what good looks like. And then when the AI model is tuned and it's ready, it can then be deployed to perform its function along the production line. And during that entire process, sound data needs to be at the heart of everything. It needs to be that single source of truth to provide you with the basis that you need for that AI model to work appropriately. Another use case could be the use of computer vision in collaboration with robotic arms to identify the correct location of a socket for the model to then perform a high voltage testing capability on the product itself. without any human involvement. This can be a high-risk activity, as you can imagine. So we have automated this process, and the human involvement is non-existent during this testing phase. And you can again see how data would be playing a huge role in making sure that this process is carried out consistently and successfully every time. Predictive maintenance is another key area that we have increasingly seen in the manufacturing space. Imagine your manufacturing machinery sensing pressure data from historian, temperature, vibration, and other data from other IoT sensors, then intersecting that data with your enterprise resource planning data, with your maintenance history around that machinery, and the work orders that that machinery would have to fulfill. And based on the intersection of those data points, the AI model can then make recommendations around an appropriate maintenance schedule, whilst also in the background actively detecting potential anomalies to avoid downtime and unplanned disruption along your manufacturing capabilities. Now, in the facilities, we have seen digital twins being used to optimize your operations. So real-time understanding of the movement of resources within a distribution hall or a manufacturing area. We have been able to optimize the operational capabilities. Knowledge management is another area. At Dell Technologies, we've got a broad range of products and capabilities that may sometimes need to be manually assembled by a worker. So through the idea of dynamically created standard operating procedures, we can ensure that the factory worker is doing exactly what he's supposed to do with the right product, the right knowledge delivered to the right worker at the right time. Data, again, is at the heart of this. You can take that a step further. We are increasingly getting involved in implementing digital human use cases, a digital human interface that can conversationally interact with a human worker, powered by generative AI, but connected to your data, reasoning over your organizational data, and providing insights in the context of your business. During the course of the pandemic, we got involved with a number of partners to develop solutions around computer vision so that we can improve the health and safety of the various industries' environments, including manufacturing. And imagine intersecting a digital Kanban with computer vision, with 5G and laser technology to provide that automated just-in-time delivery capability within the manufacturing floor. These are all use cases that I'm sure you're aware of. Data is at the heart of it all. Dell Technologies, we have been able to deliver capabilities during the stressed market conditions of the pandemic and the current geopolitical uncertain environment. We have been able to maintain the resiliency and the security of our supply chain because we have taken a data-driven approach to managing our supply chain. So you could effectively have a digital twin of your entire supply chain and identify bottlenecks if you wish to go down that route. I realize that some of these use cases may not necessarily be appropriate for the scale of your organizations. I'm just trying to show you what the art of the possible could look like. But all of these use cases, they have to be aligned, and in fact, they must be aligned to your board level priorities, to your business needs. We shouldn't implement technology for the sake of implementing technology. And at Dell Technologies, we appreciate that no single vendor has all the answers, which is why we have built collaborative relationships and partnerships with a range of partners, as you can see on this slide, some of whom are here today. But one of the biggest challenges that we see is around the scaling of these initiatives. So if you look at implementing technology stack on a use case by use case basis, it would be very difficult for you to scale your efforts effectively. which is why, from Dell Technologies' perspective, together with our partners like Microsoft and NVIDIA and others, we have created pre-validated architectures so that we can reduce architectural diversity and build solutions that can consistently scale across multiple environments without increasing complexity and without increasing your operational cost, giving you control, flexibility, scalability, and choice over the technology stack that you use to deliver the use cases that you require. And all of this has to be done securely. Security isn't just about vulnerability management. It's not just about data protection. It's a holistic, it's an approach that requires to be holistic. It needs to be intrinsically built into every system and every use case that you develop, from the edge to core and to cloud. And we've got a number of partners within our ecosystem to be able to achieve intrinsically secure platforms and solutions. We always recommend to our customers not to focus on the AI models, but focus on your data first. The cleaner your data is, the more effective your AI initiatives will be. Your data essentially is a treasure trove of insights relevant to your business, your intellectual property, your customer data, your market data, your operational data. And unlike your competitors, you have exclusive access to that data. And we would suggest that in most cases, particularly considering that more and more data is being created at the edge, it makes more sense to bring AI to your data rather than taking your data to AI platforms where you can't be sure of the security and access control levels around your data. And you need to use AI models that are intrinsically linked to the context of your business by being able to reason over your data. And in fact, when I talk to many business leaders who are considering leveraging technologies like generative AI, they tell me that, look, the combination of these generative AI models together with my enterprise data is going to form some of the most differentiated business capabilities that I'm going to build. And so I need to be very intentional about what platforms I use and where I place my data so that whatever platform I choose to use, I always have an exit strategy. So please think about open ecosystems, open architectures, and open platforms. But this space can be quite daunting. It's very difficult to know where to start and how to start. These are some of the key questions that I think most people would have when they think about this whole technology ecosystem. And so at Dell Technologies, we saw an opportunity to build a framework to help accelerate and de-risk the adoption of artificial intelligence and the emerging technologies that we see surrounding this ecosystem. It's a platform and a framework that allows you to think about your use cases. What are the high value, highly feasible, low effort, high impact use cases? Where are my data points that will satisfy these use cases? Are those use cases aligned to my business outcome? Can I then leverage a range of advisory services because I may not necessarily have the skill sets in my own organization? Do I have access to an open ecosystem with open standards underpinned by a broad range of infrastructure solutions? And we are proud to say that Dell Technologies focused on delivering this capability, and we call this the Dell AI Factory. So if you want to learn more about the Dell AI Factory, I would suggest you might want to consider attending our executive briefing center. We can organize an agenda that is relevant to your organizational priority and discuss these areas in a lot more detail. For those more technically minded individuals who might want to see these things in action, we have our customer solution centers around the world. The closest one to here is in Limerick. If traveling to Ireland is not your thing, we can bring it virtually to you in an immersive environment at our Executive Briefing Center. To sum up, I'd like you to consider attending a lunch and learn, a couple of lunch and learn sessions. The first one would be by my colleague Paul Brook, who will be talking about how you might want to build a unified data platform to accelerate innovation and discuss why does it make more sense operationally to bring AI to your data. And my colleague Sam Thiara, who is also here, will be talking about what are some of the as-a-service capabilities that you might want to use to accelerate innovation within your environments. We do realize that small to medium-sized organizations may not necessarily want to embark on large-scale projects, so we can start small and we can scale from there, and we have solutions within the Dell Technologies ecosystem that would be able to help you. With that, I'd like to thank you and hand the floor back. Thank you.
Very much indeed, Arash. That's great. Thank you. I've asked him not to go far, by the way, because we are moving towards a panel session. And indeed, Arash has rather kindly finished a little early to allow us more time for your questions today. For these, please do submit them online to our panel, either using a QR code you can see up there now or by visiting mtcevents.co.uk/question. Obviously, that doesn't just apply to those of you in the room, but if you are joining us from anywhere in the world, we would be delighted to take your questions and get through as many of those as we can during this panel session. There are 6 panelists joining us then for this discussion, so I'd like to invite them up and indeed to take their seats in the chairs behind me here. First of all, of course, the gentleman we've just heard from, the CTO UK at Dell Technologies, Arash, if you'd like to come and join us, please. And next up, the partner for data and analytics at KPMG, Chris Middlehurst. Thank you, Chris. Head of digital at Rolls-Royce, Nipuni Karunaratna. Thank you, Nipuni. Another of our earlier speakers, the senior sales manager EMEA at NVIDIA, Andrew Hendry. The CTO account technology strategist manufacturing at Microsoft, Simon Gray. Thank you, Simon. And finally, the MD of Warren Services, Will Bridgman. Thank you. Now, I'm also going to ask to take that empty seat at the end there, Lauren Chambers, who's going to be moderating all of the questions we throw at you today. As I say, please do get those to us by either of those channels there. Lauren, by the way, is the face of industry today. A very exciting podcast series at the MTC will be releasing very, very soon. The series will be inviting specialist speakers to discuss and address trends and key topics within the industry. So please do watch out for that and listen for announcements. But right now, of course, please do start posting those questions to us, and Lauren will be feverishly moderating those on the iPad in front of her. So in order to give her a little bit of time on that, what I've done is I've actually prepared some very, very rapid fire, quick questions to our panelists. And guys, this is where it gets a bit tricky because you're going to have to simply give me a yes, no answer. It's that simple, all right? I'm not going to accept any kind of prevarication from any of you. It's a simple yes or no. I'm going to start with Arash here. The question to you: do you believe that edge computing will be a significant transformation in manufacturing within the next 5 years?
Yes.
You see? He read the brief. Chris, is data quality the key to successful implementation of AI within manufacturing businesses?
Yes.
2 yeses. Nipuni, does implementing AI-driven quality control measures on the factory floor support companies with a digital transformation journey? It's another yes. Andrew, do you think that integrating digital twins can significantly improve production efficiency?
Yes.
It's like X Factor. Simon, will leveraging data analytics help to optimize supply chain operations? Yes. It's 5 yeses. Will, don't ruin it. Will, is Warren Services currently utilizing AI for predictive maintenance or in your manufacturing processes?
Yes.
Feel free to quiz him on that shortly. Great. Thank you all very much indeed. So it is obviously clear that we are expecting some significant steps towards digital transformation then over the coming years, though individual companies will undoubtedly be at different stages. I'm guessing that's Will's slightly hesitant response there. And obviously they're going to need to leverage those new technologies to remain competitive. So I'm just going to come back then to a more normal fire of question. But Arash, I'm just going to ask you first of all, and obviously I'd probably like a little more than a yes-no answer for this one. Can you explain for us, please, the key components of the AI framework and how it can be applied to support data-driven digital manufacturing?
Absolutely. So the Dell AI Factory that I mentioned earlier, it is a framework that we have designed to help accelerate and de-risk the adoption of artificial intelligence in any business environment, not just manufacturing. And the key component of that is for us to work with you, hopefully in an advisory services capability, so that we can identify what are your business priorities. So it doesn't start with technology. It starts with your business goals, your business initiatives, what are the key metrics that you might want to realize, then identifying what are the high value, highly feasible, high impact, but low effort use cases where we can start to gain some traction. And based on that, we can then choose the right architectural approach and the right tool sets and libraries and platforms that you can leverage to achieve that particular use case, but doing so without creating technology and operational silos. That's the key part to this. Because as you scale your initiatives, you don't want to be in a situation where you have too much architectural diversity and too much complexity in your organization, because you want to be in the business of manufacturing, not in the business of managing technology. So that's the essence of the Dell AI Factory as a framework.
Right. Okay. Thank you very much indeed. So I'm going to turn to Lauren then. Hello, Lauren. How are you?
I'm good.
Excellent. Have we had any questions in?
We have, yeah, we've got a few coming through. So we'll start with this one. What advice would you give to businesses who are bound by the vast amount of cybersecurity requirements? How do we navigate the AI field and implement while also protecting customers' data?
Right. Goodness me. There we go then. I'm looking to the panel, keeping their eyes averted from me.
I can.
Will, fantastic.
Yes, as a small manufacturer, we employ 110 people, so we're an SME. We have to comply with Cyber Essentials, Cyber Essentials Plus, some other requirements, particularly in the defence sector. And it is difficult sometimes. There's not an easy Googleable answer to the questions you need, and there is consultancy available. But as a smaller manufacturer, sometimes that's more expensive than we can afford. But actually, we've found, by doing that work and thinking about that work, it does make the business stronger and make things operate. So we saw it at first as, oh no, if we want to do this work, we've got to get these tickets. But actually, by getting the tickets, actually it makes the business more stable moving forward, because we're not firefighting, we're thinking about the cybersecurity up front. And right, actually, we can't onboard that bit of software because it doesn't fit in with our framework. So it makes, it changes our decision process.
Right. Okay. Chris, I think you wanted to come back on that.
No, I was about to say, when you look at things like the deployment of AI, I think what's really important is that as you go into that journey, that you think about some kind of trusted framework around AI. Okay, so embedding within your development cycle a framework that talks to aspects like security, like safety, like sustainability, etc. Having the checks and balances around that right at the beginning of your journey. We don't want a minority report situation where we're using this technology to predict somebody that might commit a crime in the future. That's unethical. We want to make sure that we're ethical, and so spend a bit of time developing out that framework of safety, if you like, when you deploy it.
Nipuni, you're nodding.
Yeah, definitely. So the Rolls-Royce lens on it, where we actually work in both civil sector as well as the defense sector, we need to think about, like Arash was talking about before. We need to think about the ecosystem of where this data is going to go, where we need to actually handle this data, because working with cloud and also working with airtight, air-gapped servers, it's really important. We think that end-to-end life cycle of where the data will go, what we're going to use the data for, so that we can think about the standards, policy, structure we need to have in regards to protecting the data that sometimes it's no longer just the company's data, it's the people's data, and it's the national security element as well we need to think about. So doing that pre-thinking, creating that data governance structure to comply with the standards and processes, I think it's really key thing for us.
Right, thank you. And Arash, I think you actually wanted to come back to Will at the start as well.
Absolutely. Security is a very broad topic, and particularly as you embark on your smart manufacturing journey, you're going to increase the attack surface tremendously. I mean, we all know about some of the high-profile situations, such as the one that happened with Norsk Hydro, one of the largest aluminium manufacturers in the world, who are very graciously open about the ransomware attack that they experienced. So in order to, and I think we're going to talk about it this afternoon in a lot more detail, but in order to maintain your security without creating friction in your operations, we recommend that the solutions that you implement has to be intrinsically secure from the start. So secure by design products, secure by design platforms, and secure by design frameworks is essentially the principle that we follow when we deploy solutions for our customers and for ourselves, because let's not forget, we are not just the largest technology vendor, essential number one infrastructure vendor globally, but we are also one of the largest manufacturers in the world. So we do understand what it takes to maintain a secure and resilient manufacturing capability. So again, this is an area that I'd be more than happy to discuss in a lot more detail with any of you who might be interested.
Thank you. Simon?
Yeah, so I was just going to build on my other peers, and certainly Arash's closing comments, is that Microsoft and the other organizations here are very happy to field your questions in detail where you're considering taking a security conscious and security first approach. What I mean by that is when you look towards organizations at our scale who have been through this ourselves, have been through this with dozens, hundreds, potentially thousands of customers around the globe in various industries and subsectors, you build a lot of experience. You learn from failings, you learn how to do things incorrectly, but you also are able to validate and iterate and learn how to do things that works best for not just manufacturing customers, but customers in all over the place. So I would encourage people to be very open and transparent about the security conversation, because all of us would love to help bring our experiential knowledge to the fray and have an open conversation as to how we can potentially help you tackle it, but also how we can help you maybe on your journey, depending on your level of maturity.
Thank you. So Will, do you find that comforting or intimidating as an SME?
Comforting. I think, we're not going to develop our own platform. We're a SME. So I think it's, like you say, it's about picking something secure by design, a vendor that can be trusted and it's verifiable to our customer, because it's quite often, it's a pass-through relationship. Our customer is asking, we need this thing and we need to get it from someone else. So having more open standards. To be honest, I don't like regulation in a lot of things, but sometimes for SMEs, it's easier to be told what to do. This is the requirement rather than you've got to work out exactly what to do. Sometimes it's just like, just adhere to this thing and we know these products work, and then it makes it simple and we can get on making things.
Great. Thank you very much indeed. Excellent. Lauren, another question, please.
Yeah, we've got quite a few coming in about the quality of data. And a couple of people have asked around how you best ensure the accuracy of manual data input.
Good. Panel. Andrew, we haven't heard from you yet.
No, probably not an area of expertise for me.
That's fine.
I'll pass it on to one of the.
I can take a little bit of it. So the manual data import, it's an interesting question. And when we've worked with our clients in the field, what we found is there is a big part of it which is education. So I think Gavin mentioned it earlier on, the behavioural change management that you need to push forward in an organisation for them to adopt technology properly is a big element of it. You can only do so much with the tech, but there are people at the end of this who need to understand what the consequences of their actions are and why it's important to enter data manually accurately. Okay, so what's going to be the downstream impact of that? And I think if you can bring them into that journey so they're not losing sight of what happens once they fire, hit return and it goes, you are a lot more successful in terms of data quality at that stage. There are, of course, methods and tools you can employ further up the chain to capture that quality, monitor it, police it, and also the development of the deployment rather of robust data governance where you've got data stewards in place that are looking for data that's out of standard and taking some sort of remedial action is important as well. But education is really, really key. People need to understand the impact of what they do.
Right. Everyone's nodding at that, of course. Yeah. Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yes.
Education is key, and also implementing data pipelines and some automated governance frameworks around how data is captured and sensed and captured and stored is also key. But I would say that's clearly an important piece of the puzzle where data is sensed and captured. And I would seriously ask myself, why is it being done manually? And is there a way to automate it? And in most cases, there always is a way to automate sensing and capturing data, because that is the first step in innovation, in my opinion. Because if you think about the impact of technology on any business, you can break it down into 3 simple steps. It's there to obviously solve the business question, but that question through technology can be answered by sensing and capturing the data, applying some form of workload or analytics to that data in a timely manner, and then generating insights from the data. If the sense and capture piece is not done accurately or correctly, the whole thing fails. So I would say, why is it done manually? Can it be done automatically? And what would be the cost-benefit ratio of doing that?
Yeah, I would. If you want good, reliable, consistent data, do not ask people to enter it into a system. It always fails because they have an argument with their husband, or they're not on their game that day. If it's business critical, do not allow humans. Humans are amazing things at lots of amazing stuff. Data entry is not one of them. There's random people that are, and they love it. But as my experience over the years of doing lots of work with this in our small businesses, we can explain to people how important it is. They've got other stuff going on in their life, but there is normally a way of capturing that data. You sometimes just have to think a bit more about how we're going to get it. It's like I was talking to someone about analysis of phone calls, tonality, and how did the phone call go? Oh, it was great. That's your opinion of what it was. Actually, if you've got something that's much more objective around, well, it actually sounds like the person wasn't really listening. So I think by investing in using tools to gather that data automatically, you will have a much cleaner data. And if it's wrong for everything, and you can adjust why it's wrong rather than train a person, the person leaves, you've got to retrain the person. If you train a model or you train a tool to do that work, I think your data set is much cleaner as you scale a business moving forward as well.
Maybe just to put a different perspective and a lens on it as well. Working with like Royal Navy, for an example, Rolls-Royce do that quite heavily. There are situations where we cannot actually have this amazing technology that's available in the industry with our people who actually have to capture that data. In situations like that, like what Arash mentioned previously, we can actually go through that. How can we standardize the capture? Even though it's the people capturing, just because of the regulatory requirements, fine, let's get the people to capture the data. But let's simplify it in a way that it might be a drop list, like little bit of options more than actually writing the words, because sometimes reading the handwriting of what's written, what's captured is a nightmare. But if it is a drop-down list where you can capture it, not connected to anything, might be a very simple version, or a tick box exercise where all the options are there. If you cannot introduce an app, then those are the matrices we can introduce at the very early stage, with also having that human in the loop as well, so that we can go through that journey in areas where we cannot have that technology introduction just as of yet. So there are options, but I would really encourage more and more people, even though there are regulatory requirements, like Arash mentioned, think about how can we go through it might be a baby step, but still it's a step forward.
Great, thank you. Is Warren Services fully automated as far as data entry goes?
A way down that route. It's not perfect, but we try and use things like drop down, so it's not always the things. But then sometimes, like with the tick box, the output from a tick box quite often is someone just ticks all the boxes in it. It's like we were looking at something the other day, and it's about verifying what the person said, and then maybe asking them a question: "Are you sure about this?" You know, if it doesn't look like it, you know, so digitally you can interact with them. You know, we're nowhere near finished, but we're on the journey.
Thank you. Lauren, what else have we got?
Yeah, quite a few asking about how you upskill and educate people within your businesses. And someone's actually asked, do you think we're doing enough to introduce AI in the school curriculum, and how do we empower the next generation of talent?
Oh, that's a great question, isn't it? Yeah, future-proofing. Looking to my panel. Yes, Andrew.
Yeah. So I think I think it was you, Arash, talked about education, and I think that is vital. We offer a service called DLI, so the Deep Learning Institute, which gives access to, in most cases, free learning resources, both in AI and in other areas as well. So there's definitely lots of good resources out there. In terms of, are we doing enough in the school system? Probably a loaded question, but I don't think we are. I think there's lots more that could be done. We do see a lot of, as a company, we see a lot of interaction with the higher education system, but perhaps introducing things a bit earlier would benefit that as well.
Yeah. Chris?
I would say exactly right. So we operate something in KPMG called Women in Tech. And we purposely target young ladies in schools to try and encourage them to get into our field of expertise around things like data analytics and technology. And it's really important, I think, more so in the world of artificial intelligence, because we know that bias is one of the aspects of AI you have to watch out for, right? So having more, talented ladies come through that sort of route to become coders and modelers in AI is really important to get that balance and reduce that bias in those models as well. But I think, we have to. I think everybody has to sort of give it a dose of rocket fuel to do a lot more, right, early on, and encourage people into the business.
A dose of rocket fuel. There it is. Simon.
Yeah, I agree. I certainly can't speak for the formal relationships we have with higher education institutes, but certainly from Microsoft's perspective, and I think from a lot of large organizations' perspective, I think we all feel there's a responsibility for us to lean in and do our part. So much as NVIDIA, KPMG, and others are doing, we also similarly have free education programs, and we have a mandate to try to upskill X number of million people by this year and next year via our online training platforms. But I think I can only agree with my peers. I think AI is already so pervasive in our day-to-day lives. From a consumer perspective, I think young children are already using AI day-to-day, even if they don't realize it. It's just that broadly available. So I think we do absolutely need to do better and ensure that our education system incorporates technologies of the future now, as much as private organizations and the larger organizations are taking the leap with STEM programs, early education programs, initiatives with local schooling and the such. So
I've got no fear of young people adopting AI and using AI. My passion is taking those young people who have probably failed traditionally at school, failed academically, and making them into the makers and the builders and the technicians of the future. I'm more fearful of that than, the tools out there, someone said about the phone being more powerful than the Lumina, the tools are out there, young people will adopt those tools. They're available. Sometimes it's exposing these young people to the making, the reality, the physicality of doing these things, which is more difficult for schools because resources, so bringing them into our businesses at younger ages, I have more of a concern about that than, our young people upskilling themselves in AI.
Yeah, and Arash, I think you wanted to add something.
Well, my wife and I have been home educating our children for the past 8 years or so. My daughters have completed computer science GCSE at the age of 12 and 14. And having gone through the curriculum, which was recently updated, I would say it's unrealistic to expect the mainstream education system to keep up with the changes that we are seeing in technology. And I completely agree with Simon in terms of technology vendors have a role to play in terms of upskilling, not just our young people, but everyone. And I also agree with Will in terms of it's not about the technology, it's about the ethical and correct application of technology that I think we should be focusing on, in my humble opinion.
Ethics is a whole new topic. Absolutely. Lauren, have we got anything pertaining to that?
We haven't, but we have had one through actually, which is referencing the imminent budget. And they've asked, what do you think needs to be focused on by the government to encourage AI adoption and wider use of data?
Chris?
No, mine was going to be politically incorrect. I was going to suggest not raising national insurance contributions to give people some pots of money to invest with. Look, it's a difficult question what the government can do, but I think there's always been grant systems, etc., that the government has had access to, and I think I think where government can play a part is by corralling and bringing together the best of industry to try and drive this topic forwards, right? And I think they have an absolute part to play there. So I'd like to see something in the Right Honourable Rachel Reeves' a budget statement or something around that sort of talks to, how they're going to encourage industry to come together as a whole to drive the whole industry. So put competitive barriers to one side for a minute and move the industry forward.
I don't know. The government is so slow. AI moves so fast. A bit like this gentleman saying about education. Education can't keep up with what you need to know in coding. That's not how education works. I think the same with AI with government. They will be so many steps behind. They'll be talking about something that we were talking about a year ago. It's AI is coming. The thing they need to prepare themselves for. I think the young people that work in our business that are making things, we make relatively low volume things, that's going to stay people doing that for a while. It's this middle rump of jobs. I'm more thinking in, purchasing, in finance, in, legal, in order entry, those type of roles, which the government needs to prepare itself for retraining those people into maybe more people making things or more people thinking about what we're going to do with things. I think traditionally automation replaced the manual worker. I don't think that's the case with AI. It's moving that middle lot of jobs. And I think the government have got a responsibility to think about that and think about how we're going to retrain those people.
But and of course they are one of the biggest employers in the UK, right? So they've got to do it to themselves, right? So they've got to look internally as well as externally, right?
But I think there's that worry about the job security, like we were speaking about. I think government can actually do more awareness about AI is not just to replace jobs. It's about to create that skilled job roles that actually people can actually work on with the aid of having digital technologies now. Not doing that maybe work that's repetitive and time consuming that people feel really demotivated. Whereas now you can get that done in digital technologies, using digital technologies and using that for better options.
But I think in the past, it was easy for us to explain, we've bought this CNC machine so you don't have to wind the handles anymore. You put it in and you can program it and it's great and you measure the stuff. But AI is taking that person's creative job. I actually quite like doing that. I like drawing, characters for cartoons or books. And that's where before I would always say to young people, if you're not joining a company that's investing in automation and robotics, don't worry about your job, you'll get a better job. If you're in a company that aren't investing, you might lose your job because that company won't be around anymore. Now it's a sort of a different conversation. Someone's like, well, I actually enjoyed my job. If you say to someone, oh yeah, did you like putting that part in that machine like 100 times an hour? The vast majority of people went, no, I didn't enjoy that part. I enjoy now maintaining the machine. But we're in a different era now, aren't we? It's exciting, but people have got there's going to be more change and quicker change than we've ever seen before, I think.
Definitely, yeah.
What would you propose then in that instance where you're saying the jobs that people want are at risk?
I think we need to make the jobs that we need people to do better paid and more interesting, such as care. We've got a massive lack of care people in the country. We've got people stuck in hospital because they can't get home care. People don't want those jobs because it's minimum wage. We need to invest in making those jobs where currently a human is still in, very much needed in the loop, and maybe value in those job roles. Okay, thank you.
I think there's a danger as well with the rhetoric that's been around artificial intelligence for quite a while has been, this thing's going to replace 80% of people's jobs. I worry sometimes about that message, and of course everybody worries about it. But there was a phrase that I started to use differently to artificial intelligence, and that was augmented intelligence. Because actually, I think you can keep some of those interesting jobs, but it can make you much better. So it can absolutely help somebody unlock their full potential, right? But it augments their intelligence. I don't think. There'll be lots of things that do get fully automated, but there'll always be some stuff. I mean, take architecture, for example. You can generate a scale building plan, artificially, but you're not necessarily going to rely on it on day one. But what it does do is it helps the architect start from not a blank sheet of paper. And I think it's really going to augment people and make their jobs slightly more exciting and not necessarily just take it away.
Okay, thank you.
I was just it's just a little bit of a tangent from the original question, but and I think Arash, one of your slides called this out. I think most of the speaker slides have called this out is the failure rate of digital transformations within organizations. And one of the key reasons or one of the feedback anecdotes that I see is that the people just aren't on board. They don't understand what it means. And there is a fear that it's going to impact their jobs or potentially even make them redundant if they are going to be, quote unquote, digitally replaced in some manner. And bringing it back to manufacturing, and this goes to Chris's comments as well, I think it's a case of ensuring we articulate the right messaging to the appropriate audience, that we're not looking to replace your jobs, and you're not necessarily going to be replaced. I love the word augment. I use that myself quite more and more frequently these days. Take an example of a frontline worker or someone in a factory, in a cell, a technician. I understandably, playing devil's advocate, I can see how persons, peers and colleagues, myself, fear they may be impacted or they may be replaced. But I look at it from a different perspective. I see specific current applications of artificial intelligence, specifically things like generative AI, as augmenting and enabling workers, providing opportunities to make their jobs potentially easier or make them more efficient or proficient via mechanisms such as augmented reality, via things like generative AI co-pilots or assistants, being able to make them more effective quicker and make them more productive. And I think that is an angle that we really need to try to articulate better, because there is plenty of opportunities to actually enable and improve the workforce through AI. But there is still the fear and the perception that actually it's a replacement technology, not something to assist.
Yeah, I think you're right. That's been an existing fear for some time, which is everyone has addressed. Education is obviously the answer.
And just if I can add on a quick bit, sorry, Will. One of the challenges we have in manufacturing is labour, either through our workforce, whom have been in the industry for decades, looking to retire, looking to leave the industry, trouble with attrition in younger generations. It almost acts as a flywheel by companies looking to be competitive by incorporating some of the newer, latest cutting-edge technologies such as AI, because it's actually an attractor to the younger generations. So by younger generations knowing that they can be working with AI, AR, VR, the cloud, and the like, that actually has an appealing factor too that I've seen with some of my customers where they have graduate and apprentice programs. I've spoken firsthand with some of the younger students potentially considering the manufacturing industry, finding this very, very attractive because they can play with bleeding edge tech in a predominantly hands-on industry vertical.
Maybe just to follow on that one, actually, and also put the spin of diversity and inclusion, because at the moment, if you look into, like, for an example, in Rolls-Royce, in the shop floor, we have a large number of manufacturers working in the shop floor. But if you look, there is a stereotype of people and the crowd that will work in there. But in the future, the more diversity and inclusion sessions I'm doing in regards to manufacturing, with digital technologies, you can have that aided technology to support people with that need, who might have that. A very good term I've heard is disabilities that are not visible, right? Digital technologies can aid that, and that's for me one of the things. And I know there are mixed feelings about the statement I'm going to say about Industry 5.0. Keeping human in the loop is a key thing. Using digital technologies to have an inclusive environment to everybody, not just for people who have been doing a role for a long time, that stereotype of person doing the manufacturing role. Now anybody can do it, but with the aid of digital technologies. To give an example, I had somebody come up to me with explaining about the color blindness. And when you're working in the machines, you have that red, amber, green technologies over there with the light system, where if it is red, you do not go near the asset itself, because there's something wrong. You need to step back and do the necessary action. But if you're a colorblind person, sometimes you don't actually see that red, amber, green. But digital technologies, you can have like something go up in the tools that would say stop using the machine or whatsoever. It's a simple introduction. It might be a little notification on the assets they might be wearing saying, please do not go near that proximity. Those things actually help a lot of people, and it opens that. We have a massive skill shortage when it comes to manufacturing. It actually helps closing that gap with these digital technologies that we see in the industry. So that's just a slight spin for how we can use digital technologies, I would say.
Thank you. I'm just aware that we're going to be running out of time. We're trying to get through as many questions as we can. So, Lauren, what else have we got?
Yeah, so we've got one here which says, are you worried that by everyone standardising and using purely big data to make decisions, that we will lose creativity?
Yes, the loss of creativity.
No, it just informs your decision making. You know, that's how I feel. You know, we don't let the computer make. The computer says no. The computer says yes. The computer gives us lots of information that makes us make possibly a better decision. But some of it's still in business, especially when you own a business, has to come from your gut. You know, what feels right, what's ethically right. You know, all those other factors that potentially the computer doesn't know about. But I think that having that clean data set, and sometimes it's like we sometimes ask the youngest people in the business their opinion, because they haven't been in the business for 30 years or 35 years. They have a different opinion, and maybe you could ask different AI models, you know, here's my data, what do you think? What do you think? This has got a bias about this. So I'm really excited about it. I think it just empowers the person, not, you know, undermines them.
Yeah, nods from everyone.
Yep. Yeah, slightly different angle from my side. I work with a lot of creative people at NVIDIA. There's a lot of digital artists that are involved in creating these digital twins, etc. And these guys love having access to all this additional support, and it's, to your point, it actually makes them more creative. It gets it enables them to be more efficient, more effective, and yeah, I think it's something that they can embrace.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you. Lauren, let's keep going.
As an SME, how do I access affordable services in this area? Where do I even start?
Where do I even start?
So from Dell Technologies' perspective, particularly during the market conditions of the pandemic, we realized that certain industry verticals, such as retail or manufacturing, they would be prioritizing keeping their cash in their bank rather than embarking on CapEx-oriented technology acquisition strategies. So the part that Sam Thiara, my colleague, will be covering, will go into that in a lot more detail. But I would say that start small, understand where you can add most value to your organization. Start with the business value that you want to create, then think about investing in what technology components you need to satisfy that outcome, and partner with organizations that understand your business and economical dynamics in order to deliver the solutions that you need. I don't think that going big and investing big is always the right answer, particularly in this ecosystem.
From my experience in an SME, don't build anything. Buy whatever you can, get it on subscription, don't pay a load of money up front, try it out on a small scale. There's so much stuff out there now, it's deciding which one to go for, but you can normally onboard quite easily now and try lots of different things and make sure, I'm probably going to not use the right terminology here, but someone technology will, is make sure it's got well-documented open APIs so you can then join these different best-in-class bits of kit together. But yeah, don't invest, from my point of view, don't spend too much money up front. Don't build it unless you can, well, no, just don't build it, just buy it. I was trying to think, if you can't buy it, build it, no, don't do that. And always accept, don't go down, get caught with the route, only does 90% of what I want, because that having that extra 10% you think you want before you've actually tried doing it is not worth the 10 times increase in cost that it will cost you to build exactly what you want.
I completely agree. I mean, from Dell Technologies' perspective, again, we invest over $4 billion on research and development, delivering pre-validated solutions together with our partners like NVIDIA, Microsoft, and others. So take advantage of that rather than trying to build the capabilities yourselves. And if there are any vendors that are offering you fee-waived advisory services, please take their offer on board, because we have perspectives, not just in terms of the mistakes that we have made internally ourselves, but also the trends and the issues that we notice by engaging with countless number of other organizations. So please feel free to take advantage of those insights.
Just to finish that, if you're really excited about a specific thing, there's plenty of people you can partner with, like the MTC or a university, or where you're an industrial sort of early customer, so you don't have to do the work, you just give them the advice. If you see something that's really cutting edge that isn't available yet, there will be a university or something through the MTC you can do and not have to invest all that money yourself, but be involved right from the start. So it's, yeah, you can have some enjoyment that way.
Fantastic. I hope that addresses the question, whoever lodged that with us regarding the SME. Looking at the clock, we've probably only got time perhaps for one more.
Yeah, we've actually covered an awful lot of what's come through, which is great. This person references the conversation earlier around, I think it was your point, Will, it's not young people who are resistant to technology adoption. This person says it's the C-level executives which are, they make the decisions. How do you think they need to be encouraged?
I think so. What we've certainly seen is in a lot of our clients, they still have a mindset of everything's a big program, right? And so then everything has to be specced out as a big program. There has to be a really, really robust business case. It's, you know, weeks and months in the making. There has to be a nailed-on return on investment, etc. Swipe left. I think we've got to get a bit more entrepreneurial at that level, and I think that means, you know, the CFOs of the world giving a little bit of latitude around seed funding, looking at ROI across portfolios of activities, not on single projects, and knowing and accepting the fact that culturally stuff's going to fail, right? Some stuff's going to work and it's going to be mind-blowing. Some stuff's going to fail. And I think that it's that little bit of a cultural nudge that C-suite needs. Be a little bit less risk or a little bit more positive in terms of risk rather than risk averse.
We are certainly seeing technology acquisition budgets are, particularly in larger organizations, they're decentralizing away from IT departments. So we do make a point of getting in front of business decision makers and line of business leaders and other stakeholders to educate them in terms of the fail faster culture, remove that fear of failure, start small. Because with generative AI particularly, any use case that might be powered by generative AI or any idea that might involve technologies like generative AI or the edge, etc., where you think you're going to end up is not where you're going to end up.
Right.
So you need to be able to adopt that culture of course correction and embracing an environment where you can foster the acceleration of innovation. And I think we all have a responsibility to have those conversations with the individuals who will need to hear it and build consensus around what is that target operating model going to look like. Everybody agrees with that direction of travel, and everybody would agree with, as you said, having some flexibility in terms of allowing certain initiatives to fail while other initiatives will succeed.
I'm wondering, as KPMG, when you go into some of these big companies, have people actually found their own solutions on the sort of the side? They're not in the corporate bit. They're using ChatGPT and paying for on their corporate credit card, or they bought software and
it happens.
Shadow IT.
That's it.
And in some respects, there's a little bit of that which you kind of want to go, wait a minute, we need to put some controls in there. But also it's encouraging that innovation and that mindset with people to think just outside of the box. And that's what we need to do. We need to sort of look at the business processes that they're operating and reimagine them, not tweak them, but completely reimagine them. And the best people to do that are the people that are actually performing them in the first place, right? So
I would say that innovation is everyone's responsibility, but there needs to be some framework and governance around it.
Simon, I think you were going to add something.
Yeah, I was just going to say it's interesting because generative AI especially has created this newfound tension between IT and lines of business functions, because historically IT was always seen as keeping the lights on, maybe the laggard, maybe the person or the people who say, no, we're not going to invest in that, we don't have the budget. But what we're seeing is contextually, lines of business are the ones, to my colleague's points, doing the work. They're seeing the tangible use cases. They're seeing where they can derive value from leaning into these technologies. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. It is creating maybe an aspect of distributed IT or shadow IT where people are leveraging these technologies on a self-serve basis or a SaaS basis. But that can be a good way of prodding a company into investing here, because if your business units are able to bring this back to their leadership, it creates realistic business use cases that can then be fed up to leadership. Suddenly there's R&D budget or there's an innovation budget that's sitting there that can be invested. And IT can be almost nudged on the journey. So rather than being the laggard or just the ops function, they, in a roundabout sort of way, become an innovation function. They are helping to drive tangible business value in organizations. And that can be cost-cutting, optimizations, efficiency, or the bottom line and profitability. So it does have a weird way of working, but I am definitely seeing in organizations that business-driven, we should be doing this. Look at how better I am at my role, or how much money we've saved or made. It is proving to be positive.
Right. Which actually comes back to one of the points that Will made from the start, that you said, it can be a difficulty to make it affordable, but equally, you can't afford not to a degree. Yeah. I'm just looking at the time, and sadly, we are nearly out of time. I'm going to ask our panelists to remain seated, but please show your appreciation for Arash, Chris, Nipuni, Andrew, Simon, Will, and our moderator, Lauren. We are shortly going to be heading for a lunch break, but before we do, I just need to remind everybody that there's plenty to choose from even during the lunch break. Lunch and drinks, of course, are being served in the main restaurant outside. But on top of that, we've got several different lunch and learn sessions about to start up on the first floor. We saw a couple of them highlighted in one of the earlier presentations, and there are plenty of others. There is food available up by those as well. So it's literally a case of going straight up, grabbing some lunch, and enjoying a good session at one or more of these. Equally, from 12:50 today on the first floor mezzanine, you can enjoy some tech bite, punchy 20-minute sessions up there as well. Obviously, plenty of different exhibitors, both on the ground and first floor, running throughout the break as well. Again, we do urge you to explore them, and please continue the conversation with all of those as well. Again, please do take a look at the agenda for all of the timings and information on all of those sessions as well. Our plenary session will be resuming back in here at 1:30 with again some more exciting and educational presentations and indeed more panel discussions where we'll try and get to some of those questions perhaps we've already had in there if they are indeed relevant. But for now, thank you so much for your attention. Enjoy your lunch and we'll see you back here this afternoon. Thank you.
Close your eyes and you go to sleep. And it's down to the sound of a heartbeat. I can hear the things that